DCF versus comparable valuation, private equity angle. CandiMentor.com. Hello and welcome to CandiMentor. Today we're breaking down DCF versus comparable valuation, the two core methods private equity firms rely on when valuing companies, pricing deals, and marking portfolios to fair value every quarter. We'll move through each topic slowly, in clear classroom-style language, so you can hear the logic step by step. Why PE uses multiple valuation methods. Private equity doesn't trust a single method. LPs expect valuations that are consistent, justified, and audit-ready. Ind AS 113 encourages triangulation, meaning use DCF, trading comps, and recent transactions together. This reduces bias and keeps the valuation grounded in reality. DCF, core idea. A DCF asks one simple question: how much are the future free cash flows worth today? It discounts those future cash flows using a suitable WACC. It adds a terminal value at the end to capture long-term growth. The total gives you enterprise value, and after subtracting debt, equity value. This comparable valuation, core idea. Comparable valuation is market-driven. You look at similar companies, check their trading multiples, and apply those multiples to your target's financial metrics. Common ratios include EV over EBITDA, EV over sales, and PE. This method reflects market mood and sector appetite. When PE uses DCF, DCF is preferred when cash flows are stable, predictable, and tied to fundamentals. Think manufacturing, healthcare services, logistics, or consumer staples. If peer multiples are volatile or limited, DCF becomes even more reliable. In downturns, DCF can anchor valuation to business performance rather than market noise. When PE uses comps, comparable valuation shines when companies are growing fast, but not yet generating steady free cash flow. SaaS, fintech, marketplaces, and consumer tech often fall in this bucket. Here, revenue or ARR multiples capture market excitement better than long-term cash flows. PE firms also lean on comps heavily for quarterly fair value marks. DCF Key Inputs. A typical DCF includes a 5 to 7 year free cash flow forecast, a WACC derived from cost of equity and cost of debt, a terminal value either from a perpetual growth rate or an exit multiple, and detailed operating assumptions for revenue, margins, CapEx, and working capital. Comps. Key inputs. Comparable valuation depends on picking the right peers. They must match sector, size, geography, and growth. You then track market multiples, usually EV over EBITDA or EV over sales. You adjust for growth differences, control premiums, and liquidity discounts. Sector trends matter heavily here. DCF strengths. DCF is fundamentals first. It's ideal when you trust the business's ability to generate cash consistently. It also helps model multiple scenarios, bull, base, and bear, which is crucial during investment committee reviews. DCF weaknesses. DCF is fragile when assumptions are shaky. A small tweak in WACC or terminal growth can swing value dramatically. Terminal value often makes up more than 60% of total valuation, so forecast discipline matters a lot. Comps. Strengths. Comparable valuation is quick and easy to explain. It mirrors what public markets and strategic buyers are paying right now. It works well even when profits are low or negative, as long as growth is strong. Comps weaknesses. Multiples swing with emotion. Finding perfect peers is hard, and comps ignore company-specific strengths or risks that don't exist in the peer set. So comps can overshoot or undershoot fair value. End question. Private equity reality. Use both. Most PE valuation cycles combine three views: DCF, trading comps, and recent transaction multiples. Funds often assign equal or weighted averages. This creates a number that stands up in auditor meetings and LP reports. Ind AS 113 requirement. Ind AS 113 asks funds to disclose valuation techniques and key unobservable inputs. Most PE valuations fall under Level 3, since inputs depend on internal models. A sensitivity analysis is mandatory, meaning explain how values move when WACC or multiples change. All is well. Example: DCF-Favoured business. Imagine a 20-year-old manufacturer with predictable volumes, low volatility, and stable margins. DCF captures long-term performance more accurately than market multiples. So, example: Comps-Favoured business. Now consider a Series C SaaS company growing 50% year-on-year. It may be loss-making, but its ARR is strong. Here, EV over revenue multiples tell you far more about market value than cash flows. Terminal value comparison. In a DCF, terminal value dominates the model. Using a comps-based exit multiple keeps the long-term value aligned with likely buyer expectations. PE firms always check for multiple compression risk in the exit year. A break. WACC considerations for PE. PE capital structures are highly leveraged. More debt, lower weighted average cost of capital, at least initially. As the company leverages, equity value rises. WACC must match business risk, sector volatility, and capital mix. Adjustments unique to PE. PE valuations often include adjustments: control premiums for buyouts, discounts for lack of marketability, run rate EBITDA adjustments, and sometimes synergy adjustments for platform companies. Fair value movement drivers. DCF values move when forecasts or discount rates change. Comps move when sector multiples shift. Quarterly fair value marks often mix both effects: business performance plus market cycles. Exit strategy alignment, DCF, reflects the fund's internal investment thesis over 3 to 7 years. Comps reflect what buyers will realistically pay at exit. PE teams balance both to estimate exit equity. Red flags, interviewers check. Watch out for common mistakes: using inflated multiples blindly, ignoring CapEx or working capital in DCF, skipping discounts for illiquidity, or building a poor peer set. Interviewers test judgment, not memorization. End. Quick case comparison. Imagine this scenario. DCF yields an enterprise value of 1,200 crore. Comps yield 1,300 crore. PE reconciles and lands near 1,250 crore. This triangulation builds confidence. That when DCF is misleading, DCF struggles with volatile, cyclical, or high-growth tech businesses. Auto, steel, commodities, and turnarounds create unpredictable cash flows. In these cases, DCF becomes guesswork. When comps are misleading, comps fail during bubbles, or when no true peers exist, or when markets crash suddenly. Sentiment can distort value overnight. Closing summary. Private equity relies on both valuation methods. DCF reveals intrinsic value, driven by cash flows. Comps reveal market value, driven by sentiment. Together, they create a fair, defensible, and audit-ready valuation. That's the heart of quarterly marks and exit pricing. Final takeaway. DCF tells you what the company is worth internally. Comps tell you what buyers are willing to pay externally. PE blends both to invest wisely, report truthfully, and exit profitably.